Okay, so I'm going to try to explain why, when you've been spending so much money and time and energy on real estate training and coaching, you still can't close a deal. It's almost a cliche. I talk to people who've spent $1,000, $7,000, $20,000 on real estate training and coaching, and I ask them inevitably, "Hey, have you done a deal yet?" And they're like, "No, I don't even know how to get started." And I'm thinking to myself, how can you possibly spend all that money and all that time and not have any idea how to get started? But I think I understand why now, and I'd like to kind of try to explain it to you. First of all, this is me. I'm Mitch Messer. I am a real estate investor. I've been doing this since 1999. I'm currently living in Medellin, Colombia. My wife and I travel the world doing real estate deals and enjoying ourselves. And I want to talk about the various training programs that are out there. Right now, Subject 2 is a hot topic, but depending on who you've been talking to, it could be probate, or it could be seller financing, it could be pre-foreclosures, it could be short sales, it could be tax sales. And again, let's be clear, all of these work. All of these are effective strategies. However, all of these are what I call ornaments. Christmas tree ornaments. If you're familiar with the idea of a Christmas tree, I'm sure you've all seen one, even if you've not decorated one. It's a tree. People put it out for Christmas. They hang decorations on it, ornaments, pretty shiny ornaments. Put a star on top, put the presents underneath. You've probably seen this before. But here's the thing. Ornaments, all ornaments, have hooks. And the hooks are there to attach the ornament to the tree. And the tree looks something like this. This is kind of a stylized, ideal version of what a tree looks like. And every tree has the same basic features. They've got roots, they've got a trunk, and they've got branches. The purpose of the roots is to keep the tree stabilized so that it doesn't topple over. The purpose of the trunk is to drive the tree up into space so that the branches can spread out and catch sunlight so that the tree can survive. You need all three of these. If you don't have all three, you don't have a successful tree. If you don't have good roots, your tree topples over. If you don't have branches, you've got nothing to hang stuff off of, and you can't get energy from the sun, and you can't survive. And even if it's an indoor art, tree that's already been cut down, if you don't have a solid base, the tree topples over. You try to put one or two ornaments on it, and it topples over. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Because ornaments have hooks. Those hooks have to hook onto something. And most people are too busy buying courses that teach them about the shiny new ornament, and they don't have the tree. They don't have the foundation upon which to hang those ornaments. So what they end up with is a box of shiny ornaments with no place to hang them. And that's why you can't get your deal done. So in the real world, in the real estate world, the root of the tree is deal analysis. It's the ability to look at a prospective deal and determine, using math and calculations, to determine, is this going to be a good, profitable deal or a bad, unprofitable deal? You have to have that ability. If you don't have that ability, you're not an investor. You're a gambler. You're hoping that things work out for you, and they rarely will. They may work out for you for a little bit, but eventually the tide's going to turn and you're going to get crushed. So deal analysis is the root of that tree. The trunk is the deal framework. How do I get deals done? What are the tasks? What are the roles that I need to master so that I can take down a deal? And the branches are the network and team that you assemble. It's the attorney, it's the accountant, but it's also the JV partners, it's the private lenders, it's all the people that are out there trying to help you take your deals down, so that you're not doing this all by yourself, because nobody succeeds in this business by themselves. You need to build a team. So you need all three of these to be successful. You need deal analysis, root, you need deal framework, trunk, and you need network and team branches. If you don't have those three, you will not be able to hang any of those shiny ornaments on it. It'll topple over, you'll have no place to hang it, you won't be successful. And that's what's causing most people the distress that I see them in, is that they don't have any of those things. They never were taught those things. So I'm going to try once again to try to explain to people why I talk about this in the context that I do. I have a training called Deal Confidence that explains to people how to analyze the most complicated real estate deals out there, which are buy and hold rental deals, where you've got a complicated situation. You've got terms like net operating income and operating expense and cash flow. You've got to understand that stuff if you're going to actually get deals done and know in advance if your deal is likely to make money or not. The framework that we talk about using when we describe a deal, we call Deal Slicer. It is the 7 roles that are going to be part of any successful deal that you do. It's learning how to master those roles so that when you do have a deal, you know what to do and how to take it down. And then the Team Unstoppable community is what we're building to try to help put investors together in teams so that they can take down deals and not feel isolated and alone, but provide them with all the resources they need to take down the deals that they find. So, if you don't have some way of managing these 3 components, no matter how many shiny ornaments you buy, you're never going to be able to successfully get a deal done because you're not going to have the fundamentals. You're not going to have the base, you're not going to have the trunk, you're not going to have the branches. So, whether you end up using our system or not, just understand that until you have these things addressed, you're always going to be spending your money. And then at the end of that course, you're still not going to be any closer to doing a deal than you were when you first started. And that's money that's wasted because all that training doesn't do you any good unless you have a place to hang those bright, shiny ornaments. So, subject to is fine, probate's fine, seller financing fine. All of these are fine, but they only make sense once you have a way of hanging those ornaments. And that's what Deal Slicer is. It's a framework for both addressing the deal confidence part, how do I analyze a deal, the Deal Slicer framework, how do I slice up the components that take up a deal, that comprise a deal, so that I can learn how to do these things in pieces and not have this overwhelming load of stuff to have to learn up front. I can learn these things in bite-sized chunks, and I can get trained on these in bite-sized chunks. And then lastly, having a community, what we call Team Unstoppable, to help you navigate through this, to talk out issues, to have a sounding board, to take down deals together. All of those things together are what are part of the Deal Slicer framework. So if this sounds interesting to you, if it sounds like it might be helpful to you, I encourage you to visit us at deal-slicer.com, and let's see if we can help you get that first deal done.